Alright, Lee here from Low Quality Films. Now, I would love to make another video regarding the Cadillac or the Dodge, but today I need to work on my Dodge. It's a 99 Dodge Ram with the Cummins in it, and we gotta do a little work to it. Before we can do any work to it, I gotta get the Jeep out of the garage, just in case I don't get my truck fixed. Alright, so here we go. Here's everything I need to do. Basically, I need to change out the block heater. But to do that, I really need to get to it. I need to change out the, I need to remove the oil filter. So I'm going to go ahead and change the oil. There's the battery ground to the engine that I want to check. I want to remove it and see if there's any corrosion on it. And then since I'm doing the block heater, I was told that there's going to be some coolant coming out of it. So I've gone ahead and decided to change that out. So here's my checklist. Hopefully I can get all done here soon enough. And then, oh yeah, there's one last thing I need to put on there, but I'll get to that here in a minute. But right now I need to shuffle some cars around. And I don't have a lot of time to do it today. So we'll see what all we can get done. Alright, so this is what I'm going to be replacing. This is the block heating element. It screws right in right there. It's a 3/4 MPT thread, and the cord itself comes off. And if you're wondering where that's located, it is just behind the oil filter, and right there is the cord for it. And then if you look right there, it is this gizmo right here. So it's right underneath the exhaust manifold, behind the oil filter, just behind this doohickey. So I'm going to go ahead and take the oil filter off. I'm going to drain the oil, start draining the coolant, and we'll see where that gets us. Alright, well, I'm draining the antifreeze. I'm going to go ahead and drain out the oil now. Okay, so anybody that's wondering for these types of trucks, your radiator drain valve is on the driver's side. And there we go, draining the oil out of the truck. I was impressed. It only took a little bit. Probably I ran it for about 5 minutes for the oil to warm up a little bit. I was surprised by how warm it was. So our next step is to go ahead and remove the oil filter. So I gotta grab another pan, catch whatever oil goes in. Ooh, the wind's starting to pick up. It's blowing towards close to that corner. Better take care of that. Then we can check one more thing off our list. Speaking of the list, I got updated. So we can cross off draining the oil, and then we can cross off draining the coolant. So still need to remove the filter next. And my last thing is I gotta go pick up the baby. Yeah, and I have that do that here around 3 o'clock. I ain't got much time. So we'll see what all we get done. If not, baby's getting a ride in the Jeep. Alright, wish me luck. Alright guys, I got the old cord off. I got the oil filter off. It's in the trash already. But it looks okay. It doesn't look burned up. It's got the little friction high heat tape on the end that I haven't taken off to inspect yet. But it doesn't look like it's been melted or anything like that. The ground actually goes on that little tab right there, and that's what grounds it. And I'm reading the ground on my hot and on my neutral. So unfortunately, I think the element itself has been burned up. But I got the oil filter off, and you really still can't see where it's at, but I'm pretty sure I can get a socket in there. That's the best view I can get for you. And what you're kind of looking at right there is directly below where my finger's at. And I don't think you can see it on the camera, but you're just gonna take my word for it. So we're gonna try to pop that guy off. I already got my socket. I took what the new element is. It's 1 1/8 inches. And we're gonna see how well it comes out. My oil's done draining, which is good because it's maxed out. Ooh, I'm starting to leak over. I better take care of that first. And antifreeze is almost done. I'm not sure how well it's gonna be draining out. I don't know if I'm gonna have to pull a hose or not. I'm really not excited about that, but we'll see how it goes. So I got it out. As you can see, there's a hole right there. I got it out. It was really in there. I ended up having to take the boot off the air intake. And what I ended up having to use was a pretty good size extension to get away from all the hoses and everything and kind of rest up against the turbo. And then for my breaker bar, I had to use one of those guys. Plus, I had to put this piece of pipe on it to get it to break free. But finally it came loose and it wasn't such a big deal. Now, as far as the element that I took out, it actually, once I got it out, it tested good. So that was unfortunate. What ended up being bad was the cord itself. So here, let's see if I can get this on set up here for you. So by putting that guy there just on the ground, It was pretty nasty looking in there. And then that's the ground lead. So it reads the ground there, and it reads the ground there. And then sometimes, which I'm not sure which leg that is, but there. So it actually just turned out to be the cord itself. So that's the ground. We'll just say that this is the hot. And then to neutral. Whereas on the new cord, if you take this, it's open line. So there you go. This is actually still good. Whenever I tried to read between the two legs, but I'm not reading to ground. And what I mean is, by me putting on the case here, oh, wait. Yeah. So the element is still isolated from the casing. So that's actually still good. So if I would just replace the cord, that would have been saved me a little bit of time. But when I called Dodge for a replacement cord, they wanted $60. And I bought this one with a cord that came with it for $60. So Dodge wanted $70 for this, and then like another $60 for the cord itself. So I got me a new element and a new cord, all for 60 bucks. And I actually went to a Cummins authorized dealer, but this is actually a fairly generic part. Let's see. It's that brand. So, and then they actually showed, it took a little trouble because this was showing that it went on a newer truck, like 07 and newer. And I knew that whenever I saw that it was 3/4 MPT, I knew that this was pretty much the same size as this guy. So, and as you can see, they're pretty much identical. But the one that they were showing for my truck was not it. They had that one in stock, but I had to order this one, and then it got delayed getting to me. So I still only had to wait like a day or so to get it. So let's pop this guy in, and we'll get going. I'm not seeing, looks like there's a little bit of Teflon, liquid Teflon. So I'm just gonna put some there at the end of the threads, and then pop this guy in, and I can get started onto the next project, which is not picking up the baby. It is to install the filter, let's see, new oil, and then I need to start working on flushing the coolant. So let's see how it goes.